What's up, guys? How you guys doing today?
Hey, Tony, how are you?
Good.
Well, Tony, what was your focus for you guys during the off week?
You know, just trying to get back to some basics, some fundamentals. You know, Coach B talks about fundamentals all the time, and he's right. You know, blocking, tackling, running the football. You know, making good decisions with the football to quarterback position. So we spent 3 good days on fundamentals right there before we got out on the road, did a little recruiting.
What was it like for you guys to finally get out on the road and go see prospects recruited? What's that mean for you guys?
I mean, it was cool. You got to go watch. I watched a couple football games on the weekend, and got to go visit with some high school coaches that were glad to see us, and it was fun to go get to see them and sit down with them for a little bit. You know, just not being able to do that for over a year, it was. You know, recruiting's a big part of what we do. It's huge, and to get to go out and spend some time with those coaches, and then also get out and see some live evaluations. You know, when you're trying to sign classes in the COVID period and you're not getting any live eyes on people, I mean that makes a big difference. So to be able to go out and actually see some of the guys that we're trying to recruit, eval guys, and also see some of the guys that are currently committed. So it was awesome.
Tony, what did your guys kind of show you in that weekend practice? But did you learn anything about them in that week?
You know what I love about we got great kids. We do. We got great kids. They come to work every day, and they came and had 3 good practices. You know, obviously what we're doing on the field as far as in wins and losses right now is not where we want to be this year. But these guys showed up on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and we had 3 great practices, and they came out there and brought it. We were in full pads one day, and you know, I love being around our guys in the meeting rooms and out on the field. It was awesome.
What did you work with specifically with the quarterbacks over those 3 days?
You know what? It's kind of like I said earlier. It's the fundamentals. It's the little things. It's their drops, their footwork, run polish, how we're handing the ball off. You know, where our eyes at, what we're doing on certain plays. You know, our keys, making sure we're paying attention to the right things. So just going back and spending time on a lot of the little things that make a difference in quarterback play.
Tony, does it feel different in a turn the page type of thing because of the off week as opposed to how you turn the page from game to game, week to week?
You know what? I don't know. Off weeks, sometimes they can be good and they can be bad. Sometimes you want to flip a page, and you know, we had our worst game offensively against Wisconsin, and you want to get back out on the field and make that feel better again. And we're excited to get to go to Penn State this week. It's an awesome atmosphere. I haven't been there in a long time, but I love going there. They got a great crowd. They got a really good team, good defense. It's going to be a challenge for us, but excited to get back out there and do it. And sometimes when you have a bad game, which we had a bad game offensively against Wisconsin, you'd like to get right back out there, but also an off week gives you an opportunity, or a bye week, to get some guys healed up, you know, some stuff, some bangs, some bruises right there, get some people back in there and spend some time on some stuff schematically, what we're doing.
Coach, what have you seen on film of the Penn State defense and some challenges they might give you?
You know what? They got a really good defense. Their front seven's strong, probably the strongest part of their defense. Their 2 defensive ends stand out to me, you know, 17 and 40. Really make things happen out there. They make a lot of plays. They're a little bit different than Wisconsin, a little bit more, I don't want to say athletic, but they're just how they play, you know, and their twitchiness up front. But they're very strong in the front end. They got a good back end. I mean, they got a solid defense. It's going to be a challenge for us.
Tony, you talked about and praised Art's leadership a lot since he got here. What do you need to see on the field? What's his next steps, improvement on the field?
Just out there making a few better decisions with the football, throwing the ball on time. We talk about all the time, and then making the plays. And sometimes making the plays is on the quarterback, and sometimes it's on the wide receivers. You know, we both groups got to gel together and be like, okay, guys, it's time to start making some of these plays. We've got some of these opportunities down the field, and whether it's just a better throw, a little bit better throw, or a guy making a catch on a throw that's not perfect, you know, we got to start making those plays. So not only just Art and the quarterbacks, but the wideouts too.
How big was this week for just the wide receivers? I mean, you talked about them and their learning curve, so they have the bye week to get back to the fundamentals. And some guys, maybe it's not even getting back to it, it's just learning them. So how big do you think it was?
It's huge. I mean, and we've talked about it a lot in here. You know, we're young at the wide receiver position. You know, we're, you know, 2 of our guys were in my room in the spring. They're still young, you know, young in their college career. We do not have a lot of experience right there. So every time we get an opportunity to go out on the field and get better, it's awesome for that group. So to have a bye week right there, and we got another one coming before the season's over, is great for that group. Anytime they get a chance to go out there and practice, they're getting better every day.
You mentioned getting healthier as an offense over the bye. How's that wide receiver room looking? We had Deuce out the last game, still kind of waiting for Brian, Jafar. What are their kind of statuses?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to get into injuries, but I think Deuce is. It looks like he's going to be back practicing this week. Excited about that. Everybody else is healthy at the wideout spot, so we're excited about where that group's at, and there's nothing that's going to keep anybody down right there.
Do you see a role for Marquez Beeson going forward the rest of the season?
Yeah, he brings a unique skill set right there, does some good things. He's just got to get out there and earn the trust of the coaches and make sure that we feel good that he knows what he's doing in all the situations, so that, you know, you got to feel good that you trust that a kid can go in there and do his job when all of a sudden it's Saturday in a Big Ten football game. So he's moving closer to that right there, and as soon as he's in that position, he'll get his opportunity.
Tony, obviously we'll ask Brett about Brandon and his health and all that, but obviously this hasn't gone the way he thought it would this season with the injuries and all that. How have you seen him respond to all of that adversity?
You know what? I mean, and that's a good point. And you can see a kid like that, he's in his, I don't know, 6th year of college, whatever it is right there, and all of a sudden this season's not going, you know, health-wise or production-wise the way that he wanted it to go. But he comes every day, shows up like everybody else on time with a smile, ready to go. He's always in there. He's in there for when Art's in there. You know, if Ryan's in there, if Matt's in there. I mean, you know, BP's a solid teammate. I mean, I wish it was going better for us as a team right now, offensively and for him. But you know what? Him and to everybody on offense, everybody shows up every day and works their butts off.
Tony, with an open week, I mean, did you get the desire to like maybe tweak or add anything? Or I know you talked about fundamentals, but was there a chance to get a little, add more stuff, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, we look back at what we've done and not done right now so far to this point in the season, how we can get the ball in different ways in different guys' hands. That's probably the main thing we're looking at, but still at the same point, make sure that we're not putting our guys in a bad situation, especially when you're playing a defense like Penn State that's got some of the defensive linemen they have up front. We just got to be careful. We got to make sure, you know, the one thing, knock on wood, that we have not done this year poorly is turn the football over. And you just got to be careful right there and make sure you're always taking care of the football is your number one priority, but probably in the off week, looking at how we've gotten the ball in some guys' hands, how can we get it more in certain guys' hands, or some more in guys' hands that we haven't gotten the ball in enough.
Those guys in the past, I think you got to talk about it being the tight ends and Isaiah. Is that about the mix you guys are looking at, or are there other players?
No, I mean, you're talking about Isaiah, you're talking about the tight ends, and then, you know, I can't say enough good stuff about Casey Washington, what he's done. You know, he's made big plays for us, especially on third down. He's probably our best receiver at tight combat quarters right there with the DB and coming out with the catch, and we always got to make sure that we're doing our best to get the ball in his hands also.
You mentioned quarterback and wide receivers being part of the passing game equation. Offensive line is part of that too. Do you have a feel for why that side of things has maybe not gone as smoothly as the run game?
Well, I mean, you got a lot of things going on in the passing game. You got protection, which is always first, which we've not given up a lot of sacks, but we've had enough pressures that have caused some issues in our passing game right there. Then you've got quarterbacks making the right decisions with the football and where it needs to go, and then wide receivers getting separation from DBs and then making plays, and ultimately making plays at the quarterback and the wide receiver position. So there's a lot of things that goes into the passing game and it gelling right there, and we just haven't got it all tied together yet. And I promise you, we're working every day, working our tails off to get it done, and all the players are and the coaches, and we're going to get there. It just hasn't gelled the way we want it to yet.
What's the conversation been like with Josh? I know Coach D mentioned that, you know, he faced adversity for the first time, really. So I guess how have you all talked to him, you know, after the Charlotte game and after the Wisconsin game?
I mean, it's been awesome. Josh is a great kid, and he is and is going to be a great back for us down the road, and he's currently a great back for us. He just had a little adversity right there, and he's a freshman. I mean, you guys got to remember, he's a true freshman from a small town in Alabama playing in the Big Ten right now. So you got to be patient with those guys, and they're going to have some of those issues at times and those type of plays and those type of games, and they learn from it right there. And what I love about Josh is he's right back in there ready to go. He doesn't flinch. He's not all down and depressed or whatever about it. He understands he might have made a mistake or could have done something a little bit better. He's ready to learn from it and get back in there. He's an awesome kid.
Tony, can you describe the mood when you went on the road recruiting-wise? I know it's a 2-5 start, but what's the atmosphere like when you walk into a high school or walk into a practice at this point?
You know what? It's been awesome. I mean, people understand. I mean, guys, we're here about winning and losing. I mean, that's our job. That's what we get, you know, hired for, and that's what we're here to do. But we also just took over. We're in the first year of Coach B's, you know, his tenure here, and it's a process. And that doesn't mean we don't want to win every game, and we're doing everything we can, I promise you. And we're also doing everything we can in the recruiting process. I've never seen a head coach work harder than Brett Bielema. And when we go into high schools, those guys have seen him, they know him, especially the guys in state that are within, you know, our footprint right here, and they're super excited about it. And they know that we're going to get this thing right. Even I was out of state for 2 days and got received extremely well. So recruiting was awesome right there, and recruiting's a big part of it, and we got to go out and keep making our roster better.
What, obviously, when you haven't been able to put the offense you want to out there, like, what's your sell? What's your vision to these prospects or their coaches?
We're selling Coach B, we're selling our staff, we're selling our family atmosphere here, the University of Illinois, the education, I mean, the whole package right now. You know, just because you're not winning as much as you'd like to this very second doesn't have anything to do with what we're selling. If we were 7-0, we'd be selling the same thing. We'd just be 7-0 and have more juice behind us. So, you know, we believe in what we're doing and Coach B's process and his plan right there, and that's always what we're going to sell, whether we're 2-5 or whether we're 5-2. So obviously wins help. I mean, anytime you can be winning, that helps, but it doesn't change what we're selling.
How much different is an evaluation in person, being able to see that, Tony, up close, see players build, all that?
Oh, it's huge. I mean, I just talking about just one position, the quarterback position, to be able to see the ball live coming off a guy's hand makes all the difference in the world. I mean, sometimes I'll see a quarterback on film and I'm intrigued, I like him, I go out and look at him, and I watch the ball come off his hand twice, and I'm like, yes or no, and it can be that easy sometimes. So not quite as easy sometimes at other positions, but seeing offensive linemen, how they strain, how they play down the field, just getting close to it right there, and you know, in-person evaluations are priceless.
Anything else for Coach?
Appreciate you guys. You guys have a good day. I'll switch it up. My Penn State win had it. We'll be back next week.